Hey guys, this is Ken coming at you today with a special episode. We are actually not in the studio right now. We are in the kitchen. You'll hear some noises. You're going to hear some food going on, being made, some very special food being made this evening. We have with us Joe, of course, and my mother, Miss Gloria Everson, is here. She came down on a special short trip and is here. She'll be flying out in the morning, and we had to just get her on the podcast. So, guys, tune in to a special episode right now of Joking Around with our mom. That's right. We have everybody here in the kitchen.
Hi, everybody.
In the
What's
kitchen.
going on?
Quarter cup cornstarch.
So what are you guys doing right now?
Ooh, tell
We are
Mom.
making some enchiladas. They're also called chilitas after my mother, Grace.
That was
And-
Grandma's name was Cholita?
That was her nickname. Mm-hmm.
No
Really?
Cholita.
What? We just learned something new.
Chilita.
Literally,
Little
the first
chili?
moment.
Little chili pepper?
Oh, hey,
Is that
Ken,
what that means?
We had a request for some Spanish background music. We should have
Oh, you know
prepared
what?
that.
I actually have that.
No way.
I do.
That is crazy.
Yep, I have
cool.
it somewhere over here. It's romantic.
It's romantic.
You people in podcast land can hear it.
Quarter cup.
But
Cup.
Okay.
they are actually making it right now, and I'm sitting here in the kitchen with a with a little table here. We got some Mexican music playing in the background, Spanish music. And actually, this just died. Yep, our receiver just died. Oh, it's turning back on. Hold on. Okay, there you are. You guys are back on. Yeah, the battery says it's slow.
Okay.
I can hear you guys for now, but it's about to die again.
Okay, here we go. Bye.
Okay, bye. So, something special about the enchiladas. So, to bring you guys into the world here, we've talked several times about our family. A lot about the Everson side. You guys have heard about Dad, and his side. The quiet. How'd you? Okay, Joe. I think you're back on.
I'm back on.
Okay,
Yep,
there you go.
We're back. Okay.
Mix that till
The
it's all
quiet
one
Scandinavian side.
Yeah. So we've got we talked about
We are
like,
on
the
the-
party side of the family.
We're on the opposite side now. We are now into the Ortega side.
Yeah.
Mix
and-
that with another surrogated spoon.
Oh.
Like this
So
one.
I'm looking right now. I see
Has
a
to be
pile
dry.
of cheese that has been grated. I see a sauce that's being made.
There.
Mom is coaching
Then she
Joe
That's 2 tablespoons more of the
to
cornstarch.
make the special sauce. So, anyways,
And then-
I'm gonna drop them down a little bit and give you some background.
That till-
So, enchiladas being a very special part of our family. So, as far as I could remember back, early childhood, we would have enchiladas at Grandma Ortega's house. Special occasions. Specifically, I remember Christmas time. Also, tamales.
tablespoons.
But these enchiladas are made a very special way. Joe,
Yes.
what makes the enchiladas special to you?
Oh my goodness, it brings back every single memory. I see Mom looking at what I have, making sure that it's right.
Should be flat on the top.
Okay, this
Not
needs to be
rounded.
flat. So, Mom, I'm glad you're doing that. So there's one, we're doing two.
Yes, we're making the chili.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We're doing great. So enchiladas, though, that usually meant New Year's for us.
Yes.
New Year's.
In the past, so it was a lot of football games and all that, and that I think comes to mind the most was those times with that side of the family, all
Right.
hanging out and,
Yep.
and enjoying New Year's together.
New Year's.
And we would
Right.
eat 2 freaking pans of them.
So I think Grandma often described the amount, like we would say, hey, at the end of the night,
Blend it out.
how many did we eat?
Oh,
Yeah.
goodness. Like 64 or...
I think one year we
Hundreds.
did over 100.
Over 100. I know
I'm
we were in
sure
triple
we
digits.
did over 90 one year.
Beth,
Yes.
we need cumin.
We got some cumin right here, up here. What about you, Ken? What does it mean to you? Like anything different other than the football and that kind of thing?
For me, it just tastes good. So
Half a teaspoon.
Actually,
oh, sorry,
when,
half a teaspoon.
actually, when I was younger, I didn't like them. I didn't like them when I was real young because
Oh,
they were
really?
too much.
They're kind of powerful, right?
Yeah, so Grandma would put Parmesan and lettuce on there to kind of balance it out.
Tablespoon, so.
And
Half a teaspoon. Not a tablespoon.
Here it is.
We're cooking.
Half a teaspoon.
Okay.
We're good. No, we've got them all right so far.
wow,
I'm so nervous.
Just half, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
good.
Ken didn't like them.
well, they were a bit much for me. I think they were too strong.
A little powerful, right?
I had to grow into become a man
That's
to eat them.
The whole put hair on your chest.
That's right. So, yeah. So there's a lot of and if anybody's out there with Mexican heritage, Latino heritage, you understand that food and family is very important to
Oh, yeah.
to us and
Yes.
to those people.
Hey, well, so Mom, I remember, for instance, and you could expound on this a little bit, when maybe your day wasn't going well or something, you used to tell me that Grandma would be like, let's bake a cake or something, you know, like that was a part of the salve,
We need 2 pans.
if you will.
One for the oil and one for the sauce.
Oh, she's got the pans going. Okay.
Another pan.
I got
Hi,
it.
I'm sorry. I keep interrupting.
It's okay. We're live in it right now.
This is the craziness, I know.
So
but
I get to sit here in a nice, comfortable chair, and they're going to feed me enchiladas by the end of
Yes,
this.
yes. Okay, yep. we're good.
Joe
so
dropped his microphone.
when Mom, sorry,
Okay,
I
he's
dropped my
back.
mic. How about this pan? It's technically clean. Switch these. Ready?
Wow.
So much noise.
Wow.
But
3
Mom,
tablespoons oil. Olive oil in the...
I feel like Jerry Lewis over here. She's like, and then 3, and I'm like dropping stuff.
That
and
one.
throwing things.
3 tablespoons of oil.
3 tablespoons. This is one.
So yeah. So this is kind of interesting to be able to
miss one?
go through this
Yes.
process live here and try to record
3
this at the same
tablespoons.
time.
Do not heat.
So interestingly enough,
Next.
my wife Ruth Ann also has Mexican heritage, and
Chicken broth. So how much
I
is
was
the can?
blessed with that menu selection as well.
Can of soup.
So
Just a can.
that's
How many
right.
ounces?
15.
Okay, so 15 ounces of that, which would be what? 1 cup is 8 ounces or 16 ounces?
So can you describe the process of making an enchilada?
I have a 1 cup is
Are you
8
cooking an enchilada?
Okay, so
So 2 cups,
2 cups. No,
basically.
yes. 2 cups.
So enchiladas. Wait, he's asking a question, Mom. Answer it.
What?
It's hard to
And a
multitask.
can of chicken
I'm
broth.
doing it. I'm doing it right here. You go answer his question.
What?
I got it.
recipe.
So
Okay, the recipe.
if you
Yes,
if
dear.
you were to describe
Yes.
what's the process of making an enchilada? You don't have to go every detail or
Well,
whatever, but
For
how does
years.
how does it work?
It would be my mom, and I would be her daughter next to her, and she would give me one thing to do, and then pretty thing, 2 things to do, and eventually, I never ever made enchiladas by myself.
Which one?
Really?
In this one?
Yes,
Is it
sir.
like-
Okay. No.
No,
Why not?
because she was too
too
good. No one could make them like my mother.
We still can't.
So we still can't.
That's why
We're
we're
going
all
to try
stressing.
tonight.
That's why we're all stressing out right
We're
now.
stressing like crazy. We want to try to make it. Okay.
Okay, add
got
this.
It. Add that too.
So, but what goes in? So, how are you making it?
Okay, so we've
What
got
are
some
you
oil
doing?
in a pan, and we've got some cumin.
No. It is a secret recipe. We do
Oh,
not
we
give
can't
this
tell-
I'm
out
not
over
telling.
the
I'm not
air.
asking about the process. I'm just saying. I'm not asking about the ingredients. I'm asking about the process.
Everything has a price. We'll sell it. Top down.
Wow.
You get
All
some
this in
chili
there.
powder. Yes.
All this in there.
I know, but okay.
Not
So,
heated yet.
No.
all right. I'm gonna describe it then. So you make a sauce.
Yeah, you're watching.
Okay, they're making a sauce. I actually have a pan right now. They put some special ingredients in there. It's totally top secret. We'll have to kill you if you knew.
That's
If you
right.
stole it. Right? So then you heat up the sauce, right? You stir the sauce, heat it up.
Yep, mixing it all
Start
in.
mixing it all
Get a
in.
hot sauce. Yep.
Now, I had a job in making enchiladas as a kid. I was cutting the cheese. Oh, okay.
Well, fine.
Get it?
We did that.
Nobody laughed at my joke.
Water? You put a cup of water in there, right?
I gotta go find my own
What?
laughter.
Yeah. No, we haven't put a. I don't know.
What did we do?
There,
we
there
put
we
a
go.
cup of water in there.
Found my
with
own
it.
laughter.
That's how we made
So
that.
we're all set. So she wants.
No, I would grate the cheese. I'm gonna put them on mute for a second. I'm gonna talk to you guys. I would cut the cheese. I would grate the cheese. Grandma would come in with a big block. Oh, more than like 3 different blocks of cheese. Slam it on the table. I'd sit in the living room and grate the cheese. Grate the cheese.
Not
One
heated yet.
quarter cup.
Not heated yet.
No, 1/4 cup of that. 1/4 cup. So get a quarter cup
I have
measure.
3/4 cup.
No. Get a quarter cup measure.
Cup. Measuring cups are in there.
I like the repeat.
There is a
I
there is
get
a
5
third
repeats.
voice who is not mic'd up.
Yes.
But that person you're hearing for the first time
It's her kitchen.
is this is the kitchen of which we are
Is this
rating.
half a cup?
That is Joe's wife,
That's
It's a third. Oh, we'll use this.
Bethany.
Okay, hand it over.
I have one right here.
Okay.
Quarter cup. This
Okay.
thick.
No? Oh, okay. Good,
No,
good.
quarter. You said
We're
1/4,
good.
right?
Yep.
We're almost done with the sauce, and that'll get
Yeah.
really fun. We can talk more then, I
Yeah.
think. We're almost there.
It's very important that you get this measuring.
If we get this part wrong, then they're no good.
Then you messed it all up.
All right.
Quarter cup.
1/4 cup. That's what this is. Here we go. Of our special sauce going in.
Joe has poured the quarter cup all over his shirt.
No! Don't even fake.
Oh, this here you want like
It'll go bloop, bloop, bloop. So we need a pan to put them in.
That's Dakota the dog. That was not.
How
Bethany.
crazy is this house
And
right
this
now?
slotted thing is what you use to do.
Right. No, I
It
get
has
that.
to mix.
I gotta be careful because I don't want to give secrets away.
Don't
Oh.
give away the secrets.
And then what you do is you, and that's exactly how you make them.
Nice.
Now, Joe, I see
Blending,
Joe is
blending.
grabbing some cheese and eating it on the go. Is that required to be part of that? Part of the
That's
enchilada
always part of the
process?
process. See, I used to do it with Grandpa Dan.
Okay.
And we get stuck in the other room
We
where
may
Grandma
boil
would just
this
hand
now.
us wheels of cheese or blocks
Yeah, I
of
was just
cheese.
talking about that.
Okay, sorry.
She'd give us, yeah,
Oh
she'd give
my
us the
gosh,
blocks
right
of
to the
cheese.
knuckles. I always remember my knuckles hurting because I'd scrape it sometimes against
Yeah,
the
and
grater.
you'd find the enchilada, some with skin peelings in it.
No, that's gross. Why would you say that? Okay, what's
Okay, now
that?
you're going to get some water. We're going to
Oh,
add
I'm
to
gonna
this.
have to mute some of
she
this.
said within like a half.
Yeah.
There, I
Right?
covered the trade secret.
Well, I don't have it in this thing now. Dang it. Okay, we'll just use it with this. No, give me a cup.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anything.
I want this.
Here, this.
No, I got this.
Okay.
No, pick that one up.
I got
No,
it.
no, put that one down.
Okay,
That's
put
the
it
wrong
in.
one. Over here.
All right. We know what we're doing.
All right. And then
Okay. Okay.
within a half inch, you said?
That-
So a little
yeah.
bit more. Not too much, but a little bit more.
So they're actually mixing the sauce right now. This is the magical part of it, right? This is where you're getting the sauce just right, and then you're gonna cook
Is
it.
this on now?
You're gonna
Turn
cook
it
it
Yes,
on.
you have it on.
to really
Okay, we have to
bring.
bring this to a boil.
Yep, there she
You stir
goes.
now.
Mhm.
I'm good. Go talk to Ken.
Let's go listen in.
And then once it's brought to a boil, you simmer that for 30 minutes.
Okay. That's cooking it.
Yep.
All right, go talk to Ken.
Okay, hi, I'm over here. Did you need me for something? Hello.
So, are we good with the enchiladas
So far,
so far? Nothing's caught on fire. Or anything.
not yet.
Well, guys, I wanted to introduce you to my mother. Out to our mother,
Yes.
Miss Gloria Everson.
Mrs. Gloria.
Mrs.
Gloria.
Doctor Professor.
No, I'm not a doctor. But I have a lot of experience. I've gotten a lot of experience.
Yes, so we talked a little bit last week, or not last week, the week before. We talked a little bit about voice, where some of our musical voice profession, right? And we attributed a lot of that, all of it, really, to my mom. So, would you mind explaining a little bit where you got your training and experience?
Oh, I would love to, because I'd like to give credit to the people who helped me get there.
Yes, absolutely.
When I was in junior high, my choir director, Miss Gase, was my teacher. And I was singing in junior high choir, and she stopped everybody. And she said, Gloria, would you come forward, please?
Okay.
In front of the room. And I thought I was in trouble. I thought, what did I do? And she had me sing the song, Jesus Walked This Lonesome Valley, all by myself. And then she turned to the rest of the class and said, this is how you are supposed to sing.
Really?
And that was my first experience. I was in
That's
seventh
intense.
grade.
Had you had any training up to that point?
No. I just love to sing. Now, did I have any training? Yes. As far as the music my mother played in our home.
Okay.
Oh man, now I can't remember her name. She was a Spanish singer, and we had an old stereo, and my mom would put on her singing. She was Edie Gourmet.
Edie Gourmet.
Edie Gourmet
Oh,
sang
yeah.
in Spanish, and I would put my head underneath the stereo. We had two big speakers. It was a big stereo unit. And I would listen to her sing, and then I would sing with her in Spanish. And I created the same tone as this woman did, and I was a young girl. So I was very free, and that is really one of the basis for singing properly, is to listen to proper singing and get that in your head so you know what good tone is.
Correct. Because how are you gonna, if you don't have a standard, or if you don't know what your goal is, it can be harder to achieve.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And my mother just loved the music. So then we went from that to singing in elementary school. I got a little part in first grade. I sang at Christmas. I think it was Away in the Manger, the second verse in first grade. And my mother made me this little red dress, and it was a lot of fun. And then I kept singing and singing and singing till in seventh grade. That was my choir director, Miss Gase.
Miss
So
Gase.
she did she do any specialized lessons or anything?
No, no.
Okay.
So I kept singing in junior high choir, and she had the Triple Trio. It was a group of girls that she chose that were all ninth graders.
Okay. You can
And
have
so
some
it-
headphones so you can hear your voice.
Oh, wow.
See if we can hear.
Am I too loud? Oh.
Is it? How does it sound? Too loud?
A little loud.
A little loud. Okay.
Yes.
How's
a
that? Is
little
that
loud.
better?
That's better.
Is that better?
Yes.
Can you hear yourself?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good.
And so I sang in the madrigals, that's what we called them, in ninth grade. And I sang solos, and I was actually like the manager of the junior high choir. I had gotten to that point, I just adored choir and music, and the love of music was in my heart. And Miss Gase was just terrific with me. And she said to me in ninth grade, the beginning of ninth grade, Gloria, you need to start studying voice lessons. And she encouraged me and my mother, and I was taking piano lessons from Mrs. Rice, my piano teacher, but she also
remember you
taught.
talking about
yes,
Mrs. Rice.
Oh, fabulous teacher in Saginaw.
Yep.
And she gave voice lessons, and she was actually an accompanist for singers in New York City.
Okay.
And so she got her training in New York City, and she came to Saginaw and started teaching voice there. And so in ninth grade, I started singing and competing in recitals and competitions, and I learned stage presence from her. And she talked to me about being a cheerleader.
What is stage presence?
Cheerleader.
Wait a second. Let's talk about
I wasn't
this.
ready for this.
Well, I wasn't ready to hop into this. I don't want to hurt anybody's opinion and anybody's feelings just yet. We're like, my name's Gloria, and here's something I want to start controversial war about.
Let's start talking controversy right
Stage
now.
presence.
You were a cheerleader in 9th grade.
I was.
Okay, and
I
she
was.
had a talk with you about it.
Yes.
Why?
Before I went into 10th grade. She said, choose.
Choose
You want to be a cheerleader for the rest of your life, or do you want to sing for the rest
for
of
the
your
rest
life?
of your life. Wow.
And I said, I want to sing. And
What
so-
about fun?
No fun.
Is that an option?
Oh, fun was always part of singing.
So you
Oh, the best was yet to come.
did you ever have what was the worst part about vocal training? Is there anything about it you didn't like?
No,
Really?
no.
Okay.
I
loved
believe
it.
that actually.
I loved
I
it.
think
You do?
she literally is just one in one.
It was my
So
thing.
so cheerleading, dropping cheerleading wasn't even a thing then.
No.
Really? Okay. Oh, okay.
No, I had achieved that, and you can only.
Oh, she 9th grade. She was professional cheerleader. She achieved it. Wow.
Well, remember, I had a lot of wonderful friends who were fantastic cheerleaders, and they carried on, and I gave it up because I had something they didn't have, and that was a voice that God gave me.
Yes. So from junior high to 9th grade, she said, we need to have a talk.
Yep.
Pick. You had no doubts about that. You decided to get vocal lessons, private lessons, right?
Mom's telling me
I haven't
she's
taught. No.
You decided to get,
Lessons. Yeah, I
right?
wasn't giving lessons yet.
no, I mean, you were just take them
yes.
yourself.
Oh yes, I studied all the way through high school.
Okay. And was it the same teacher?
Yes, Mrs. Rice.
Mrs. Rice.
Mm-hmm.
What were some of the things that you learned from her?
Well, okay.
Some of the first most important things that you learned from her.
She told me to listen to the Metropolitan Opera on Saturdays
Oh,
so I could start hearing good quality tone. That was a key factor
on Saturday. How did you listen to them
on the radio.
on the radio?
Mm-hmm. So I wasn't really good at it, but they were singing in Italian and German and French, and I didn't know what they were singing. But as I grew and she started giving me more music in different languages, then I started understanding the quality of tone that she wanted me to have, because she would tell me how to sing, and it's really hard when you're a beginning vocalist to understand what your teacher is wanting out of you. That might be the most discouraging thing. Because you want to sing correctly the very first time you study, don't you? You don't want to take the scales. You didn't want to do all the exercises. You want to just, the big thing was always, I just want to sing. I get that from my students. I just want to sing. And I'll say,
I don't want to do this.
I'll say, no, you have to do E, A, O, and ooh, and you have to do all these exercises to relax and posture, and everybody doesn't realize that you have a lot of foundation to lay. The other thing is to get out of your own way, because singing is allowing or letting yourself sing. You don't make yourself sing. You let out the voice God gave you. Mm-hmm. You have to get rid of the tension. Start relaxing all the muscles in your face.
Hey, we said something correct last time. I said the
really?
biggest thing overall for about good tone was being relaxed.
Yes.
Right. Once you get to a boil, simmer for 30 minutes.
Yep, we're not at a boil yet, Mom.
Make sure
When
there's
you're
nothing much
singing,
in
I'm
the-
the slave in the
And you're
corner
about
over
to
here
boil.
that got me.
I'm sorry.
the cook.
Joe is cooking. I don't want him to mess it up.
Hey, Joe, you give me a drink?
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Anything you want, sir. Anything else?
Make it snappy. So being relaxed creates the opportunity, getting out of your own way, to have an open channel from the diaphragm all the way up through the vocal cords and out through the cavities in your face to create the resonance to create free tone.
Right.
So,
Mostly.
oh, so close. I was like,
Nice
I
try,
thought I
Ken.
almost got all of it.
By the way, let me interject and say the sauce is looking really good, and I've never seen it this good before. I've tried to make this many times.
Good.
This is, I think, the closest we've gotten. The sauce is very dark. And
It
it's
is very
thickening
dark.
up, and it's about to get more boily, and I think that means we're on track.
Yay.
All right, so keep going. I
think
like
that's
this.
because we have the secret ingredients of, and that's how you
That's
make
what it is.
That's
That's
what
how
it
you
is.
do
Those
it.
secret
Yes,
ingredients.
exactly.
we all know. Because Ken, I definitely put in the, and I've been doing that the whole time.
That
so.
is the key.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep,
I
right
think
there.
I think that's the reason why it is so good. So, I was gonna say something and I forgot. There was we were talking about you're talking about getting out of your own way, and you said some of the most frustrating part was
As a young student.
as a young you're like, I want to be good now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want it
I just
now.
want to sing. I want to sing those pieces.
Yeah,
I wanna
unlock my
compete.
voice in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Oh yeah, get some water,
You
please.
have to have some water. You have to
We're
drink
not
water
in a
too.
studio or anything. Feel free to move around.
Okay.
Joe and Mom are actually wirelessly mic'd.
Yeah.
So they can walk around.
And Ken is locked down in the.
stuck
I've got
over here,
pictures, so make sure
drooling
you follow.
on enchilada.
Follow our
Drooling.
Facebook if you don't already, because we're gonna post some pictures.
That's
from
right.
tonight.
Yes, and we actually Facebook allows this new feature now where the podcasts go directly to Facebook, and you actually can subscribe to the podcast through Facebook. Really cool. Moving on. So we were talking about getting out of your own way. That's the difficult part for a new singer.
Right.
They want to do it now.
Right.
Also, part of that is listening to a goal sound.
Yes.
So I remember also when I first started playing trumpet, I would listen. One of my favorite groups was the Empire Brass. I really liked listening to a brass ensemble, but then also the guy who's actually passed away very early. He was in his 50s when he passed away. Was Rolf Smedvik, who's the leader of the
Yes.
Empire Brass. I really enjoyed his tone, and I tried to emulate that. It was one
Did
of
you
the
meet
first.
him? Was he one of the ones?
Yes,
you met?
they came several times to.
I think he signed the bell of your trumpet at
Yes,
one
he
point
did.
or
He did.
something. I remember that.
And I shared a story. I shared a story with one of my coworkers the other day about. So I was competing in. Oh, they're over there doing the secret stuff. I'm gonna mute them for a second.
Yeah, mute us.
So I'll share this story with you. I was playing trumpet and I was competing at the Christian Association of Christian Schools, or the state level. So it would have been, I was living in Wisconsin, so it's WACS, Wisconsin Association Christian School Competition, called WACS, right? So, and I remember competing, playing a piece. My dad had arranged a piece for me, and I played it, and I thought I did really well. And I went and talked to one of the judges. And this was after a concert that I had been to see, the Empire Brass. They had come and had done a performance, and the really cool part about that was they did master classes at the school where Mom and Dad worked. And I had the opportunity of spending a whole afternoon with Rolf Smedvig, who is a world-class trumpet player, basically kind of picking his brain. So I spent all this time with him, and I had asked him some specifics about my playing. I'm going to mute you guys for a second real quick. And one of the things I had brought up was playing the trumpet on the side of my mouth. So the mouthpiece was not centered on my lips. It was just a little bit off-centered to the left when I played. And when I started playing, I had braces, so it was actually quite painful to play. And so, but I wanted to play so bad, I did it anyways, through the braces and everything. And they even put wax on the braces to make it easier, but it changes the shape of your embouchure, which is the title of how your lips purse to the purchase on the mouthpiece. And so I remember finishing this performance, and I got over, and the person one of the judges said, "Hey, you did really good. I made a few mistakes here." He said, "One of the things is you're playing a little bit off center of your mouth," and he docked me some points for that. He docked me some points, and I was like, "Oh no." And I remember feeling disappointed, but then also vindicated once I told them I had a master class where I played this exact piece for Rolf Smedley. And he had told me that, hey, look at me. He put the mouthpiece up to his mouth and I looked at him and I was like, he played a little off-centered too.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
So he actually, it wasn't anything
John
I tried.
Haddix, who played a marvelous trumpet.
Oh,
Yeah, John Haddix is
Played
a
off the side.
close friend of Dad's. In the Michigan State Marching Band, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
John, yeah.
I also played in Dad's band.
Oh, yeah? We want to hear about this
Yeah.
band.
No.
That sounds
Let's not
interesting.
change the subject.
So my point in saying that was
Don't let it burn.
Good. Go.
there. I
let's
had a
smoke.
goal, and it's not like I'm some world class trumpet player or anything, but my
Hey, you have a good sound, though, man. I want to
my,
hear that sweet sound again.
yeah, I would say that my tone was fairly good, and that was one thing that I got complimented on
How
was
long
my
has it
tone.
been?
And little did he know that I was actually emulating his sound. And maybe that's why he's like, "Hey, you got great tone because you sound like me." And maybe it was horrible. I don't know. But having a goal, having
He's got us muted for a second. If you wanna tell me.
now I do. Having a goal, having a sound that you're trying to achieve definitely helps the vocalizing a lot.
Okay.
So having that embouchure, I guess, confirmation for me when I competed, and they said, and they had docked me for putting up to the left. And you're right, Joe. I did have it signed. I had his signature on my on my bell, and I was like, actually, this guy, flipped it over, that signed my bell.
Yeah.
But so having a goal. So do you have? You mentioned the Spanish lady that sang that you listened to. Did you have
Edie Gourmet.
Edie Gourmet? That's
Yeah,
right. I already
Edie
forgot.
Gourmet.
Did you have a goal voice that you would emulate? Did it change as you got older?
Well, I started listening to
Karen Carpenter?
Perry Como. Perry Como.
all right. There were pop singers that I listened to that had very free tone,
Okay.
So
Like who?
Well, I did listen to the Carpenters, and she had a very pretty voice, and I'm trying to remember the other one. So I don't know, but they weren't my heroines. I didn't. I started listening to Beverly Sills, who was a very famous opera singer.
Okay.
Peters was another one, and they were at the Met. I actually got to meet the first one. She was at Michigan State University. So, are we trying to get me to Michigan State? Are we going?
I'm
in that
just
direction?
what we're focusing on here is your training and where it brought you up to.
Overall.
So
let me get
because
you
now
up
we're
to-
into high school, right?
Right.
And you're taking voice lessons.
Yes.
You're taking this pretty seriously, I would imagine.
Oh
right?
yes, I was in recitals and competitions, and I had a wonderful fellow friend, Sandra Powers, who was a contralto, and I was a lyric soprano. She could sing a beautiful full voice, but she could sing way high and I could sing way low. But it's the tone you're talking about, what kind of tone you produce.
Yes.
So she had a contralto sound and I had a lyric soprano sound.
Okay.
And she was 2 years older than me. And my teacher would say, we had the same voice teacher, she said, you're going to lose because Sandra is better than you.
Whoa.
But she always put me in competitions with her. And that was just because.
Was she a very tough teacher?
Yes. Yes, she
Very
was.
strict?
Yes. She
Would you-
didn't let me get off with anything.
I was going to say, was there any time that you were really disciplined by her, or you messed up and she really let you have it?
Well, I can tell you a time.
Joe, mute your microphone or something.
We're getting all the crackling. Up there.
Joe's got cheese in his beard, half his face covered
Well,
in
that's where it went.
sauce.
That's where it went. There, Dakota, you can have some.
Did you ever have a
She had a
come to
talk.
Jesus meeting?
Yes, I did. When I would come to my voice lessons unprepared, she would give me my songs, and I'd have an art song, then I'd have an Italian song, and usually I brought my music from school because I had some solos in school, and she wanted to hear everything I was doing. And she always said to me, Gloria, you can sing in different styles. That's your choice, but you must always sing correctly your voice must always be free, no matter what you sing. And I was in musicals in high school. In my junior year, I had the lead role in South Pacific.
Wow.
And that
in
was-
Hollywood.
in Hollywood?
Here in Arthur Hill High School.
Broadway.
And it was fun to do, but I really belted it out a lot. And she said,
I listened to some of that on the record.
You were there?
No, what?
and
Oh.
not really, but he wasn't. But anyway,
In spirit.
and spirit.
Spirit.
He was a twinkle later.
Before he
in
was a
life.
twinkle in the eye.
Yes, I've heard this.
Yes, you have. There's actually a recording of that.
Yes, there is. I have friends, Stephen Gauss, Brian Keene, Sally Fine, all these people who were in the production that we all got recordings. And matter of fact, a friend of mine, Brian Keene, put it on a CD for me.
Oh.
It was very sweet. So I'll have to bring that out sometime so you can hear it.
Yes, I do remember hearing it, and it's weird because it's mom's voice because there's
yeah.
it's the same
Yes.
same shape,
Yeah.
vowels and
Yes.
tone and yes.
So we went on from Arthur Hill. I went to Interlochen National Music Camp 2 summers in a row. I won a
So
scholarship.
Michigan.
So up in Traverse City area.
Okay, right.
And I got a scholarship to Interlochen, and then I won a scholarship to Michigan State University in voice.
And voice.
And that's where I continued my study.
Okay.
So Mr. Greenwald, who sang in the New York City Opera, was a basso profundo. He was really low bass.
Basso profundo.
And he was my teacher.
Really?
Yes. And that
Interesting.
just goes to show you, he had wonderful tone, but it doesn't mean you have to have a teacher who sings. You should never have your students sound like you.
Oh.
A lot of people want to reform their students' voices into their voice.
They're not made it until
No.
they sound like them.
And actually, I am a voice finder rather than a voice teacher. Because I go to my students.
When
and
did
I
you
listen-
start teaching?
I actually started teaching in college.
Okay, so you're going to Michigan State.
Yes.
You started teaching. Well, on what level did you teach?
Oh, beginners.
Beginners?
It was
Okay.
kind of a training, so that
Okay.
I could learn how to teach
Okay.
others. And I was in voice pedagogy.
Okay.
So I was training to be a voice instructor. And
Right.
so that's where I met my husband, who was
So-
my accompanist. La, la,
Yes,
la.
that's right. And at Michigan State University, we
Yes.
talked extensively about Michigan
Go
State.
green. Go
And
green.
we're big, huge Spartan fans. Now, is that where you found your passion for voice? Was in teaching or in performance?
Well,
Did you not know until later, or
my goal from high school, actually from junior high singing solos, was to be a private soloist, to sing with oratorios and,
wow.
to be the soloist. And that's where I was headed. I
So-
was headed for the stage.
Pavarotti
No.
and
Well,
Gloria?
Easy. Still not big enough. Go
What?
bigger, Ken. Bigger than Pavarotti.
Stan Lee?
all right, you guys. So I met.
We're about ready for a taste test here in a second, by the way. We're
Okay.
doing our
All right.
first. Keep going. Keep going. I like this.
So, God had other plans because I met my husband to be as my accompanist at Michigan State, and he would accompany me at what we would call a jury. You'd go to, it was like exam. And I
Somebody
was,
got in trouble?
no.
Did he go?
I did a fabulous jury with my husband as my accompanist
Oh.
because he was tough on me. I wanted to talk all the time, and he said, "Let's get to work."
Got other things to do,
There was
like ask you out. Hurry up, let's
What are
be
you
done, and then
doing
we can
later?
go out.
Hurry up so we can
Hurry up
get
and finish
back
this song. I got a question to ask you.
So we went out.
over ice cream.
We studied voice and together actually, and he went to my lessons and I did very well. I was on scholarship. I had to maintain my grade point, and then a terrible thing happened.
Uh-oh.
My voice teacher retired.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
Yes, he retired.
the contrabasso
Yes,
guy.
yes. And so when Mr. Greenwell retired, I had no voice instructor, and I went to Interlochen again as a counselor, and I met my voice teacher at U of M there, and I was offered a voice scholarship to the University of Michigan.
What?
I missed it
That summer.
How dare you?
Well,
because
actually,
Dad spent a summer.
I know,
at,
I'm kidding with
at
you,
U of M as
actually.
well too.
yes, he'd already been to U of M.
Yes.
They have some excellence over there. I do have to say that.
There is, yeah, and we talked extensively about that too. Dad shared a little bit about that as well.
Yep.
About how there's some fine teaching.
Oh, yes,
and
excellent teachers.
learning over there.
I actually performed there as well.
you performed what?
I performed my singing and painting at the University of Michigan.
Okay, that's enough, Joe. Calm down. This is about Mom.
Okay, keep going.
Get to work over there. We're hungry.
I'm doing one more. We're going to do a taste test. You guys ready for a taste test?
We're ready.
I'll bring you one right now.
Okay.
So, how much more did you want to know?
Well, we're kind of getting to the point now where you started teaching, and
Okay.
I want to talk a little bit about just a brief overview lesson for somebody who is a beginner to intermediate
Student or beginning or intermediate teacher?
student.
Student, okay.
You as a teacher,
Okay.
how would you? You said because you said you were a voice finder,
Yes.
right?
Oh,
There's
yeah,
a difference.
So can you describe that? What a voice finder is?
Yes. Many voice teachers, it's very difficult to find a really good voice teacher. The main reason is a lot of voice teachers I have found try to redo the voice that they have their students. They try to make them sound more mature when their voice is still young, because the voice doesn't fully mature until you're about 35 years old.
Yes, that's very true.
And so they have these young voices and they want them to sound oh, like that so they can compete in competitions and wow all the people. And some of these young voices are beautiful, but they become too tired because they are using manipulative throat.
They're imitating
Yes,
what they're
and-
supposed to sound, and they're not capable of it yet without damage. Is that correct?
When they need to release the tension, they get stuck with tension. And so then they can't get rid of the tension, then they have problems later on. And they push through it and they become strident, and then you have a whole new problem, and I know how to solve some of those problems.
To with damaged voices.
Yes, to purify the voice.
Therapy and strengthening and retraining.
Yes, yes.
I see. Yep.
So, where are we going with this? So, in the
Voice Finder.
Voice Finder. So, when I bring in a student, we talk for a while. They think I'm just listening to how old they are and what school they go to and what they want to do with their life, but I'm actually listening to their speaking voice.
Okay.
Because if their speaking voice is from the throat, I kind of know there's a problem with the voice. And so I start listening to how they're talking. Usually girls come in talking like a guy, way down low. And then I start to raise the pitch of their speaking voice. I say, let's put that up a note or two. Now I want you to talk at this level. And they go, wow, I feel very relaxed.
Okay.
But yeah, so we start there,
All right.
just in the beginning of the interview. And then after they decide they want to study and I explain my conditions, you have to rehearse, you have to do you have to trust me. Trusting your voice teacher is so wonderful. And then we start with the posture, and it takes weeks to create the very first beautiful, free tone. But every time my students find, and there we go, find their true voice, their eyes open up.
Surprised
They go,
and
they say, who was that? I say, that
where
was
did that voice
you.
come from?
Who was doing that
Where did
sound?
we get that voice? I
Yeah.
said, that's your voice.
Okay.
And then we take off from there, and we are trained to go to sing with feeling, not emotional feeling, but how does it feel? How did you reproduce that? So sometimes they lose it, and they go, where'd it go? And then we have to start over again, and we create the right conditions and produce that free tone. Then I say, okay, remember that. How does it feel? And then we put it into a vowel. Use the E vowel, which just puts it in the mask, the front of the face, and it comes out into the mask. And usually my other teacher, Mrs. Pike from
Mrs. Pike.
Midland,
Oh,
who was
yeah.
another wonderful teacher.
I actually got to
She-
meet Mrs. Pike.
She was
a kid.
Ben's vocal teacher,
Yes.
if I remember correctly
Yes.
as well. Okay.
Fabulous woman.
and she could sing like into her 90s or something
Yeah,
crazy,
she,
right?
she was always in charge of the Center for the Arts vocalists and Midland High School, helping choir students in there, doing a wonderful job. But she would say the roof of the mouth is the bottom of the tone.
Hey,
So if you're putting it in the front of your face and the roof of the mouth is the bottom of the tone, you are in the cheeks, the nose, up in the bony part of the nose, the eyes, the forehead, and that's where you feel your tone. So as you
that's where you feel the resonance. Is
Yes,
that
yes.
correct? When you
And-
describe it that
and
way?
many people who work with the human voice as far as speaking and not even singing will say, you know, hum, now speak there. My husband lost his voice speaking, you know, because he was teaching like 6 hours a day in college, and he lost his speaking voice. And so he went to a voice therapist to get his voice back. Then he came back with his exercises. I said, those are all the exercises I do with my students, you know, because you'd have to hum, and then put it into a vowel and speak there rather than in the back of the throat, you know, or how about makeup, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I'm just telling you all this is that's how you start with a student.
Yeah.
I generally don't go into college age because there's many very good quality college voice teachers. I protect the younger voice, the high school voice. Some of my students come back to me and work in some operas in the summer, and I will work with them then to help them audition for parts. And I was very pleased to have a couple of my students take some lead roles
Yeah.
in college, and I was so excited for them. And they've won scholarships, and that blesses my heart
Yes.
because they go in and the teachers from the colleges say, you are well prepared, and I feel wonderful. So that's about it.
That's awesome. And I would also add to that you did a ton of choral work.
Yes.
Not just soloist voices, but the blending of multiple voices, multiple age groups, things together, different things.
I think
are
this
too.
is some of my favorite stuff now. I know, and we can talk about solo voices, and I think that's probably Mom's major passion. But it was really fun last time in one of our episodes. We were talking about how it was the straight tone versus vibrato, and the blending. That was like
Yes.
the most fun for me in choir.
We talked a little bit about King Singers.
It's hot. Mom's giving me the signal.
So
do
we're
you want,
actually
this?
trying. We're actually trying the enchiladas right now, and
Get it.
Chicken broth. Put in chicken broth.
I like it this
Enchiladas-
strong.
Oh, some people do.
I love it. This is great.
If
This
you'd
is
rather
perfect.
have, we're talking about enchiladas.
So I
now.
added
are.
Okay.
Hey, may I add something, Ken?
Yes, please.
Okay, there was a point in my life when I was teaching privately that my children were going to a private school, and the choir director had to leave the state with her husband who got a job, and they had no choir director. The principal, who was a phys ed major, took over the choir, and he said, I just bounced the ball, and you know, that's how they sing. And I was horrified. He said, well, you take over and help me. And I was a private voice instructor. So I walked into a classroom, and I said, I will do my best. And I said, I'm not trained as a choir director, But I went in there and I treated every student like a private voice student.
Wow.
And so I would listen to every voice in the choir. I'll give them lessons, and I'd inquire, and I would tell them how to sing. And then this beautiful tone came out of them. And I still remember being in a competition in Kalamazoo with our choir.
That's a
and-
city in Michigan
Yes,
for
and
people in the
placed.
South.
They
It's not an animal.
they placed second.
It's not a
to-
zoo for calamari.
Right.
I'm sorry.
That choir did compete and did get an award, and then we went on from there.
That was your first one?
My first choir.
Very first one placed second in
Yeah.
the competition.
Yeah, in the state.
Wow.
And then we went on from there to win competitions and went to nationals. And then I left this state and went to Wisconsin, and then we won in Wisconsin. And you were
Yes.
in that choir.
I was in that choir.
And Joe was in that choir.
Joe was in that choir. Yep.
So-
Competed many times. I talked, previously about competing with trumpet as well. But Mom, last thing as we're closing up here.
Yes.
Did
to
you
eat our enchiladas.
Did you? Yes, because my mouth is it's very
It's watering like crazy.
Did you sing in Carnegie Hall
Yes. Not as a soloist, but this is
for the president?
No. I was singing in Carnegie Hall with the University of Michigan Choir when I was there.
Oh, okay.
But I was also chosen to be in a small solo choir that we did Carmina Burana. And I was in that smaller choir. We sang in Carnegie Hall, and they had regular opera singers, professional, come in and do the solos.
Wow.
But it was a great experience for me to go to that experience. I did a lot of work on stage at Michigan State University in operettas. I was in the Magic Flute, and
Yeah.
so I had other experiences. Of course, I was at Interlochen, did some wonderful performances there. So all of that were other people investing in my life.
Yes.
And so now it's my turn. It has been my turn. I'm actually
Yes.
retired from choir.
How many years did you teach?
Well, it was over 25 years
Wow.
of teaching. Choirs,
Choirs.
not voices.
'Cause
Voices.
you're not done teaching.
No, I'm still teaching.
solo
Yes.
solo lessons.
Yes, I am still teaching.
Yep. And
solo.
it's almost a fun new chapter because you're almost going back to where you started.
Yes.
Working with a solo voice,
Yes.
finding somebody and working with them one-on-one and helping them free that tone.
And believe me, it hasn't been easy with COVID around.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
Yeah.
End it with that.
Yep.
Okay, so but thank you for having me, and this has been a lot
Yeah.
of fun, you guys.
This has been so much fun, and
Enchiladas.
it's time to do some enchiladas, so we're going to fade out here.
Okay.
And we're going to eat. Thank you so much for being here, Mom.
Okay.
Thanks, Mom.
Okay, bye, everybody.
Bye. Love you.